Greetings, my friends, and welcome to Tricity Traveling. Last week I traveled to Brownsville, Texas. The intent of this flight and this trip was to see Starship serial number 9 do its test flight and test launch. This week's video is all about that experience. But before we get to the experience, I hope you'll take a second to click the subscribe button, hit the reminder bell, and you'll be notified of future content. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up as well. I really appreciate the likes, the comments, and the thumbs up. They really help me and they really help my channel. So today's experience is all about hunting down the Starship. This is for serial number 9. Many of you may be aware of serial number 9. I'm not going to give you any spoilers if you're not aware of that, so you get to watch the video and find out what the surprise is at the end. Without further delay, let's begin my hunt for Starship. So as I'm sitting here working on the video, I realize there's a couple details that I left out. I'm staying at the Pearl South Padre Island Beach Resort. I have a separate video with the review of the hotel on my hotel channel. The link is in the description below. You can get to that so you can see what the hotel is like. The Pearl South Padre was my home base during my hunt for the Starship. If you request a pool and a beach view, you'll get a pretty good view south toward the Starship and the SpaceX complexes. Driving to the complexes from South Padre Island is not very convenient because you have to drive back to Brownsville and then back basically directly south of where you started. It's about a 40-mile drive to the SpaceX facility from South Padre Island, so keep that in mind. Some additional details about the Starship testing process, as I understand it at least. Once the rocket is put on the pad, they install the Raptor engines. Those are the rockets. They do at least one, if not multiple, static fires, which is a very short burst test. You'll see that in the video here today. Once that's done, there's a slight pause, maybe a day or two, where they analyze the data. If everything is good, they would probably go ahead and schedule the road closures and the flight restrictions to get ready for the flight test. From what I've seen so far, every time they've done that, they've uncovered some issue with, it appears, the Raptor engines, and so they've had to reschedule, and then there's delays and so on and so forth. In the future, I think they're going to be a lot more regular about these things as the development continues, but this is a test program. Test programs have lots of delays, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and watch the video. All right, I am, as the title says, hunting Starship. I'm in Brownsville, Texas. It's Tuesday, January 12th. There is a suspicion among the nerds that SpaceX is going to do a static fire today. I got great views of Starship from the hotel. Hopefully they launch so I can see it from there, because it's literally right in front of you, so it's awesome. All right, let's head down the road and see if we can get very close to the SpaceX stuff. Well, funny how things happen. The static fire is scheduled for 2 o'clock today. It is 12:05. So I think I'm just going to go back to the hotel. It's probably about 40 minutes to the hotel, and maybe I'll get to see the static fire from the hotel. Here we go. There's Starship. That thing, and then there's the high bay and the mid bay where they're building the rockets. And here's my camera, 800 millimeters, and through the wonder of video editing, here's what that looks like. So with my 800 millimeters of zoom, that's my view. So I'll be able to see a big puff if they do the static fire. When I left Brownsville, it was scheduled for sometime after 2 o'clock for a static fire. I'm back to the hotel now, and it looks like closer to 5 o'clock. You can see the palm trees are going pretty good, so it's not a nice day. Good day for a static fire. They definitely would not be launching today. 6:30 and still waiting. Rocket chasing involves a lot of waiting. Lots of sitting around, waiting and waiting. Bring a book, watch a movie, be prepared to wait.
Where are you from?
So Boise.
Boise?
Yeah.
Boise, Idaho?
Yep.
Nice. Originally I'm from North Carolina.
I was
Name's Kevin.
Kevin?
Yeah.
John?
Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you.
So, nice to see you.
You bet.
Grew up in North Carolina, and then the past like 5 years, I moved down to Texas.
How long after the sirens is it usually?
Typically, after the first siren, it's about 10 minutes afterwards.
Okay. To give anybody who wandered in a chance to get the hell out?
Pretty much. Typically, they have a siren truck that goes down there, like drives really quickly down there, by it, and then back up the main road. And we should be able to see, because...
No static fire this evening, which pushes everything back a day, probably. I think we're looking at Friday for a launch, so fingers crossed. So tomorrow, depends on the road closures tomorrow, so we'll check those in the morning, and hopefully I can get close to Starship one of these days before they launch it, so we can see it all intact, just in case. Anyway, signing off for day 1, and we'll catch you tomorrow. We're into day 2. I got up early, watched the sunrise on the beach. It was probably 35 degrees, maybe 40 degrees, and my fingers are just now not frozen anymore, so I got that going for me. I'm gonna go eat some breakfast. But as you can see outside, it is only partly cloudy, so I think it's gonna be a good chance for nice sunshine today. Hopefully we get our static fire from Starship so we can launch this baby before I go home. So it's 11:45, looks like the pad has been cleared. Gonna try another static fire, it appears. SpaceX doesn't announce any of this stuff, so all the nerds are left to guess, but it looks like we're getting close to the static fire today. They were tanking up Starship, and I was recording the tanking up and didn't look like earlier ones, so the camera is in the sunshine and I was afraid it was going to overheat. So I turned it off. About a minute after that, they fired it. So I saw it with my own eyes, but I didn't catch it on camera, so super bummed about that. Apparently Elon Musk tweeted out that they're doing some procedure work today, and looks like they're gonna do another one today. So I can show you what a static fire looks like. It's really quick, boom, and it's done. It's kind of hard to catch when they don't tell you they're gonna do it. I should say continue to stay tuned and we'll find out what happens next. All right, we just had a static fire. Really quick burst of red and a lot of smoke, and then about 30 seconds later, you actually hear the pop. Hopefully it comes through on the video. That's quick. Static fires are done. Got about an hour till sunset, maybe an hour and a half. Regardless, I'm gonna go down there and see if I can get closer to the Starship and the SpaceX facilities. So I don't know if you can see it behind me, but that right back there, that's the Starship, SN9. I'm across the road from it. This is crazy. I don't believe I'm here. Hey there everyone, I think we're up to day 3 in South Padre Island in Boca Chica, Texas. You may be able to hear the wind outside. I don't know if we're gonna have any action today. Turns out there were 3 static fires yesterday. My guess is today they're looking at data before anything else happens. Weather forecast for tomorrow is also windy. In other news, last night's visit to Starship itself was pretty dang awesome. I just realized I didn't really take any video while I was there, which is kind of foolish of me. But if they're not doing any testing today, I think I'm going to drive back out there this afternoon when the light's a little bit better and see if I can get some daytime shots. Lots of waiting around. I guess it's going to be like 75 today, so be a little nicer weather. Head down to the beach, except for the wind. But all right, we'll see you later. So I'm on the road to SpaceX, State Highway 4. That's the assembly building, and then over there is Starship. So I made it back to Starship. It's looking lovely, shining in the afternoon sun of Texas. I still can't believe I can get all the way down here. And roughly 5 miles from where I'm currently parked, that's the Pearl, and the Sapphire Condominium is the tall building. We're out here in the desert next to where SN8 rutted had its rapid unplanned disassembly piece of the tank. Seeing if there's any other shiny bits out here. New blast wall. Starhopper. Starship in the golden hour. That's amazing how close we are. So inside the high bay, that's SN10. Just outside with the square box on top. I think that's SN7. And then I think that's just a nose cone from something. Well, it's Friday the 15th of January, and unfortunately this is my last full day on the island. The flight window and road closures have been moved to the 18th to the 20th currently, so at least on this particular trip I'm not going to be able to see the Starship hop. I will watch it online with the vast multitude of people in the world, but it's been a good time nonetheless, and I'll be back for future launches. That's my plans at least. Time for me to say goodbye from South Padre Island. Where to begin? Where do I begin? So it is actually February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day. If you've ever seen the Bill Murray movie Groundhog Day, it feels a lot like that because I've recorded this probably 6 times. I left South Texas on January 16th, and at the time I was very disappointed. I thought the launch was going to happen on the 19th. There have been a series of delays, and as of Groundhog Day here, February 2nd, no launches occurred. It appears that it could happen today. We'll see. Everything seems to be in place. In the interim, Starship serial number 9 has been joined by serial number 10. So 10 is on test stand A. So if it happens today, it should be pretty spectacular seeing the other Starship on the pad as well. So, will it happen today, Groundhog Day? I don't know. If it does, you'll see this. If it doesn't, I'll be recording this yet again. Here we go. Wish us luck. SpaceX has started their live stream. 2 minutes, 26 seconds to the hopeful launch. It's pretty incredible that I was on that road that you see there. Took some pictures. Hopefully you've checked my website. You've checked those out.
T-minus 2 minutes, continuing countdown on the flight of Starship serial number 9. It's the vehicle on the right of your screen, currently venting. On the left is Starship serial number 10, which is also being checked out for a similar flight later this month.
Totally geeked out right now. This is super cool.
5,
Let's do it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There she goes.
seconds into flight. Everything continues to be nominal with Starship. We're just passing through 3-kilometer altitude. Next major event is shutdown of engine number 3.
It'd have to be so loud if you're there. I think they're going to shut down another one too. I think they're going to finish it with one engine. Finish the climb with one engine. Yep, they shut down one more.
Two shut down.
2 plus 3 minutes, 20 seconds. We've shut down engine 2 on time. You saw that on the screen just a few seconds ago. Starship now climbing on the power of engine number 1, headed to the 10-kilometer altitude.
It just looks like it's hovering. There's no frame of reference, so you can't really tell, but it looks
T
like...
plus 4 minutes. Vehicle is at 10 kilometers. It is at apogee. We're continuing to throttle down engine number 1 to hold altitude.
So it is hovering. Oh, this would be
Preparing
so
for
crazy.
handover on the propellant tank.
Oh, so it would have been so crazy to be there.
4.5 minutes. We are handing off to the LOX tank. We're
Here we go.
beginning to flip to horizontal.
Belly
The white
flap.
cloud, the plume you were seeing was intentional. There is a liquid oxygen dump. We've now transitioned to horizontal and beginning the subsonic test portion of the flight, where we check out the aft and the forward flaps to hold the vehicle stability as we descend back to the landing pad.
This is the belly flop maneuver beginning. They'll light up the Raptors again to put it vertical for landing, if you haven't watched one of these. Of course, there's only been one before. If you didn't watch the previous test, everything went well right up until landing.
Land intro.
And then it went horribly wrong. This camera is from the
6 minutes,
ground.
10 seconds into flight, we're down beneath 1.5 kilometers. We're preparing to restart 2 engines.
So that's
Flip
from the
main
landing
vertical,
pad.
Then transition to 1 engine for the landing burn.
Here we go. Come on, come on. Dang it.
Oh, I see. Let's get cameras up.
Oops. Lived a short life.
New anomaly net and opening 3.911 at this time. We will start sweeping for fires.
That was not good. But it is a test flight. So hopefully SN10 wasn't damaged there, so they can get that test flight going. Oops. So close. I think SN8 was actually closer than that, but and that concludes my visit to SN9, which will never ever fly again since it's in who knows how many pieces on the ground. Until next time, happy travels.